evening, comrades. Good evening, humble dwellers
live
of the crater. I'm Double LMC, that's Andy PG. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Live from the digital gulag. Welcome, everybody.
Rise above, y'all.
What is it? What time is it, Andy? You know what goddamn time it is.
It's Rise Above.
It's Rise Above time. It's Friday night, bitches. But I'm going to tell you all about it. Don't worry. Tonight is a little bit of a different show. It's that show that everybody loves to hate, Andy PG.
That's it. We've got some haters out
there. The most hated show on YouTube, the most hated show on Facebook. You know what time it is. It's Rise Above. I feel like to tell the story properly, we need to... I'm not saying that I couldn't bust the mic right now. The thing is, I could bust the mic with two hands tied behind my back. What a show we've got installed tonight. It's the last stream of 2020. This is the Soviet Union, comrades. This is where it all started. I have had an absolute bumper harvest of memes, guys. This is Big Up Word Nerds. Welcome to the stream.
Oh my God, look at that.
What's been going on this week, Andy PG?
Mate, well, going at it.
We've been going at it. We've been bombarding people with amazing information from a whole flurry of really, really interesting guests. Chris, how you doing, bro?
I'm all right, guys. How are you today?
Look at Word Nerd.
He's got full COVID protected.
He's got his toilet roll. He's got a Big Up Virus Man.
Yeah, Big Up Virus Man 2020. We've got to give credit to the original memologist of the Soviet Union.
So how are things over there in across the pond? I think you guys have it just about as bad as us, maybe worse.
We just start as we mean to go on with a powerful meme that encapsulates the whole zeitgeist of the moment. Once again, our special guest this week, Tayshawn from GFC TV. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, bro.
Yeah, man, I've just been frustrated with the reporting by the mainstream media.
Germany had the right to view their records that was held by the Stasi, and there were very few people who didn't have one.
Do they just want to inject you with their, what is it, chimpanzee?
AD5 adenovirus.
Recumbent.
Genetically modified AD5 chimpanzee adenovirus. Because I want to say one thing about COVID. Why couldn't I be Lord Schwab? Why'd you have to do me like that?
Tank,
yeah, Rise Above is a think tank. Sure.
Yeah, it's just not using it for nefarious
We're also an NGO as well.
Yes, we are.
Rise Above is a non-government organisation. Yeah. This is God Vadge's real name. Me and God Vadge, right? We're on first name terms. Me and the Vadge, yeah. And Wim, if you're watching, like Wim Hof, double bad man. When we say God Vadge, you know that is a term of endearment and the highest salute
we love it.
The vulva of the universe when it comes to occulted knowledge.
When it comes to any form of truth or knowledge, there's always at least two types.
Mr. Inner Guardians, he was getting right down to the Vadge last week.
I was into it.
He was into it because we were so lucky to have Inner Guardians for the whole show last week, like the whole
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 whole weeks, yeah. But last week he stayed in for like 6 hours.
For the full
Vadge. He went for the full vajazzle.
So one would be what is commonly known. So that would be given to us either through education or the media, and then one which the mystery schools or esoteric schools will understand or understand.
So what do you think of this God Vadge guy? He's like, he said, I think he's very good. He really gets the gist of it.
Well, there's a word called the gist. Now, the gist is a very important word for the syncretist or the polymath.
Mate, I'm just admiring your ammunition box there in the bottom right-hand corner. That is a fat ammo box. We got in there a claymore?
It's classified.
I bet it is.
Man hates God. Jesus said that they hated him, they will hate those who preach his gospel. Jesus Christ is the most hated man on planet Earth today. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. But God will prevail because he is the King of kings and the Lord of lords. He is the King of compassion, the lily of the valley.
questions that are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with a Wahhabi thesis? Pedo priest, praying to Jesus, a rabbi, circumcising a penis, gesturing God, acting fiendish, lecturing mobs back. Who is the cleanest? Claiming we're equal, acting elitist. Listen up, there's lies in his sermon. Why's that? Your vicar is vermin. Hypocrites ain't hard to determine. Gotta rise up, be wise like a serpent. Beware the same thing as serpents who prey on the weak, headed in burden. Dissidents are destined for burning. Indoctrination is different to learning. You know the fables are coded. Demons, angels, the meaning's eroded. Reasons known by those who devoted. Revised, rewrote and promoted. Years past, scriptures unfolded. The names change but never the motive. Translated, wildly misquoted. Sugar-coated, violent, corrosive notions. Charged with bitter emotions. Boarded ships and sail across oceans. Holy books, gunpowder explosions. Hiding text like Trojans. Insidious lines were spoken. Indigenous minds were broken. Then he tread the path of the chosen. And then struck with a hoop full of cloven.
But many people want to curse him, but they still he is with who he is. He's Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus Christ, God's perfect man and man's perfect God. You can't say that you haven't been warned on the day of judgment. Change your ways and turn to God. Because one day you will die.
Dangerous statements. Third degree burns in hospital patients. Far-reaching increased engagement. Fast-speaking procedure replacements. Unleashing verbal wordplay, leave them seething. Gasping, belly breathing, fasting. No more eating, no more 8-bar repeating. You can't greet me with seasoned greetings when we've got preachers teaching kids Satan's teachings. Degrading heathens, concrete beliefs, no reasons. False idols in league with demons. Across unsecular regions, imams, rabbis, priests, and deacons. From the studio to the stadium, your basic levels, I'm raising them. I drop knowledge to expand the cranium. Free your mind, never enslaving them. No games, I don't play with them. I make a sample sweat gymnasium under the radar. Subterranean bars made hard with a full titanium. From the booth to the bleachers, install the truth for the mouth of the teachers. Elevate youth, Babylon's reaches. Renegade disfiguring features. Purge inconsiderate creatures. From the earth to the love increases. Urge all illiterate leaders. Learn my words, get birth through the speakers.
You will stand before the judgment seat, the Bible says, and he will remind you of your evil ways. You'll be afraid and scared, and you will not be able to say nothing. I'm telling you, you can go to a place called heaven where the streets are made of gold, the Bible says, where there's joy and peace. You can go to heaven where you would drink from the throne of God, crystal clear water, you'll never thirst. But if you go to hell, you will thirst throughout eternity. In heaven, the gates are made out of pure pearl. The walls are made out of jasper. And you have precious stones in the walls, but the gates of hell will be old, rusted iron gates. If you die today, will you cry out beyond the gates of hell throughout eternity?
it. Catch raw treat, only endorse it. You know where to come when draconian war hits. This ain't a scare tactic. I really wish that things were less drastic. If you abide by the mass formation psychosis, then you'll end up a captive, a slave to the system. So hand over your rights, then blame like a victim. The supply chain's now seized up, so they're promoting people that eat bugs. Go do the research rather than making decisions at a knee jerk. If we go along with the collective, this reality will have ended. It's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall, it's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall.
Just imagine North Korea in 20 years when everybody has to wear a biometric bracelet which constantly monitors your blood pressure, your heart rate, your brain activity 24 hours a day. You listen to a speech on the radio by the great leader and they know what you actually feel. You can clap your hands and smile, but if you're angry, they know you'll be in the gulag tomorrow morning.
One, two. Welcome back. It's Rise Above, Black Market Cinema. Welcome back, Andy PG.
Good evening, fellow peasants.
Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday night, the second Tuesday of the month.
Got some nice Saturnian colours, black and red, here in the studio.
We always do for Black Market Cinema. I need to first of all say a big shout out to everyone at the Crown Inn in Bridport, especially
big
Simon.
Up, guys.
Simon, the landlord, he's sporting his Rise Above t-shirt, I hope. Big shout out to Jess as well and all the gang.
They're playing us live, right?
Yeah, we're being broadcast live to the pub. And I know on these Tuesdays when we have a retrospective look back at some of the material that we put out and has been banned, we don't normally do usual business, but one thing I've got to say to everyone that's watching right now in the Crown and the Crown Inn, Raw Treat is 4 weeks away now, and we have released day tickets for all of you guys. It's not very far away, old Raw Treat from Bridport. It's just south of Tolpuddle. Yeah, so not very far away at all. On www.riseabove.tv, day tickets and weekend tickets are available. We've got roughly 33 tickets left.
They're going out, man.
Yeah, they are going out. We sold 4 more tickets today. Guys, we'd love to see you there. We'd love to meet up in the flesh and spend some time with everyone. So, yeah, make sure you get your tickets. Go on the website. The whole schedule's up there. All of the things that are included, like the breathing, yoga, axe throwing, survival techniques. It's all going to be up on the website.
Full
next
music lineup.
Yeah, full music lineup. All of the artists. So, yeah, we'd love to see you there. No, that's enough. That's enough of that.
What's going on with this thumbnail, Lance? Let's have a look at this, shall we?
The thumbnail?
Let's have a look at the thumbnail, shall we? What's going on tonight?
Okay, so what is going on tonight? Let me just share the screen, one sec. So,
what's going on here then?
This is the third episode of Black Market Cinema. As you know, Andy PG, once a month on a Tuesday, we rerun some of our early material. Some of the earliest material that you and me sat down together to do. So episode 1 was my famous Serco speech, which sort of put me on the anti-Coviet map, as it were. last time we went over to your forte,
Pizzagate
the PG in your name.
Chronicles.
We did the Pizzagate Chronicles, and we sort of had a little catch up about that. Now, today, episode 3 of Black Market Cinema, we are going to be looking at the episode that you and me did with one of the earliest, Satanism and the Dark Occult. Now, it's a massive subject. This video is only an hour, and we couldn't do it all in an hour.
It was kind of like an introduction.
It was supposed to be sort of like an introduction for people that really didn't have any idea about it, and they maybe thought that, you know, Satan from the Bible or something like that.
People teenage kids going out and sacrificing an animal in the woods around a fire, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, that kind of stuff. So this is, you know, that's why we made the episode in the first place. I think this went out in 2020, somewhere probably mid 2020. I think we put this one out, and obviously it got deleted on the first channel. Now, I think out of all the stuff that we're going to look back on, this might be one of the ones where I cringe more, or I correct myself more, because I think out of all the different subjects that we tackle on the show, this is possibly the one that we might have progressed more into, and understand a lot more, because obviously, you know, we've
like you said, this is a massive subject, man.
It is, and when you're getting into it, it's very easy to make faux pas and follies when it comes to terminology, using the correct terminology, labeling things correctly, and really understanding what you're talking about, because it's very easy to look at stuff and go, oh yeah, this is like that comes from that secret society. That's all well and good to do, but to actually understand what you're looking at and why the symbols are there is something that we tried to sort of do in this episode. Rise and shine, this is live. We are going out live right now. Auntie Covey, sorry, I can see everyone in the comments, this is live, but we're just going to do a rerun. Yeah, did everyone think Tuesday nights was recorded? It's because we don't really do the comments, do we?
No.
Yeah, we are live, everyone. So big shout out to everyone in the Crown, in Bridport, and Simon, the landlord.
But yeah, we're going to have a little look at the symbolism, little look at what Satanism is. We're going to talk about Satanism as well as
what
Satanism.
It is and what it isn't.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite important to point out, right, when we first put this out, yeah, you could look into this stuff, but it wasn't like, we weren't at the level of the clown show where the Satanism was being chucked straight in your face.
No.
Maybe what we're going to say in this video is going to take a lot more, is going to have a lot more context now, because there's a lot more working examples of the inversion, of the mockery, of that kind of stuff.
If you know what to look for, man, it's so easy to see.
Yeah,
all over the place.
So, I mean, I would say a preface to this video is, if you've already got some preconceptions about what you think Satanism is, you know, you take something, you know, from the Bible, the opposite of God, don't think we're going to be talking about it in that sense.
Yeah, this isn't a religious chat or anything like that. It's nothing to do with religion.
Yeah, and it's certainly not. We're not coming from a Christian point of view or any sort of Abrahamic religion. We're coming from a syncretist point of view. Camera's gone a little bit fuzzy there. So yeah, please bear that in mind. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it, mate.
Okay, all right. Let's load it up.
Rise above, extinguish fear, rise above.
Do a clap to sync the audio, and then I say welcome back to Rise Above. Thanks to everyone that has just subscribed. Thanks to everyone sharing my last video about track and trace. That's been my most popular video so far. Really pleased with that. Thank you, everyone. Today I've got Andy back in the studio. It's not going to be a Pizzagate episode. Hello to the camera over there too. What we're actually going to do is have a bit of a chat and have a bit of a dive into what we believe to be the ideology or the belief system behind the global elite, and part of the reason why the world is the way it is. So we're going to be talking about something, for want of a better word, that's referred to as Satanism or the Dark Occult. Isn't that right, Andy?
That's it. So some people, they think if you do a quick little word association game with people, if you say the word Satan to them, they'll automatically give you, you know, a biblical Christian description of some little red devil dude with goat legs, a little pitchfork and some horns. Yeah, that's simply not the case. That is a biblical depiction.
One screen grab to get that biblical depiction we're thinking of. So what do people think of when they think of Satanism?
So this here is what people generally. Where are we turning up? Are we pinging out over there?
No. This is the screen right now.
So yeah, this is what people actually think when you say the word Satan. See devil character here. We've got horns, goat legs, big old wings, nasty looking, evil character.
Like the westernised, we could say Christianised version of the devil.
Yeah, that's it. It's a biblical, this is a little cartoon one. Let's get him up there. This is what people typically think of when you say to them Satan.
So you would assume that a Satanist is someone that worships the character called the devil, right?
That's it.
Now, what we're going to talk about today, we have to give massive credit to someone called Mark Passio. He's a long-time researcher, an ex-priest of the Church of Satan. This is his website, What on Earth is Happening. Now, we've got to give him maximum credit. A lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about today is his work mixed in with our own research and things we've picked up over the years. I recommend that if you really, really want to go in depth about this stuff, about Satanism, the dark occult, what the Freemasons really believe and things like that.
The old religion.
The old religion, the mystery religions.
That's it.
Go and check that out.
So particularly, I'm studying his podcast at the moment. He's got about 250, 260 on his website. I'm on about number 23 at the moment. They're seriously in-depth content. This guy really knows what he's talking about because from first-hand experience. This isn't something he's researched. This isn't something he's found. This is actually he has been in these circles. He's been in these occult indoctrination organisations. He's been involved with Freemasonry. He's been involved with publishers and media outlets, which are triping out this absolute mind control media frenzy, especially what we're experiencing in 2020.
Now, what Mark talks about, as well as uncovering the dark side of this knowledge, he talks about the underlying laws, which is called natural law, which people like the Freemasons and members of secret societies of these old religions, they know, they study and they respect. Basically, me and Andy know a little bit about Freemasonry from our years of research, and basically is governed by things like polarity, the law of attraction, vibration, frequencies, symbology, numerology, and whether people want to believe this or not, or they want to make fun of it and think it's a silly myth, this is what the most powerful people on earth have an understanding of. And the way that Mark Passio describes it is what a Satanist actually is an ancient master psychologist.
That's it.
Yeah, someone that understands the intrinsic workings
of the mind.
Something, I studied Freudian psychoanalysis at university, and it's something that Freudian psychoanalysis would just start to scratch the surface of, in my opinion. Yeah, the inner workings of the human mind, how you can manipulate the human mind through suggestive methods, through the use of symbology, through numerology,
sounds, lights, all different.
Which all comes down to frequency, basically.
Yeah. So this is, again, we are, in a sense, just summarising.
I'm just going to stop it. I'm actually quite impressed so far.
Yeah,
I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, no,
there.
we are, mate. We are.
I was thinking we're going to look back and it's like, oh no, they're going to look like proper rookies. Look at these rookies.
No, mate.
So I deliberately didn't watch it. I just tried to touch the sound up a little bit before when I rebounced it, but I deliberately didn't watch it because I wanted to sort of watch it now. So far so good.
Yeah, it's all right, mate.
I think we're doing it justice so far. It's good to look back. I like these little retrospective moments.
Some of Mark Passio's work, we want to give this guy as much credit as we can.
Yeah, let's go through the slides in order.
Yeah.
Me and Andy, we've started off with like the traditional idea of what the devil is. But what's the idea of what a Satanist is? And what Mark Passio basically starts off his lectures by saying is most people think a Satanist is somebody like, where's he gone? This guy here.
So that's it, somebody who's sitting on some devil throne, he's got the Baphomet pose there, he's got the horns coming out, he's got the wings, that is, he's got the big beard, probably wearing some eyeliner, that kind of thing, drinks blood from a gauntlet, that kind of thing.
But what Mark Passio actually says is the average Satanist is much more likely just to be a clean-cut man in a business suit.
That's it.
No. So, this idea of this horned god thing, so where does this come from, okay? Now, this deity or this imagery is what's called the Baphomet, and this comes from Knights Templar, Now, if you look into Knights Templar, they're an ancient order around the turn of the first millennia.
It's 1116.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Andy. They went over to the Middle East and learned some of the mystery religions of the Middle East.
In Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem. This is obviously the time of the Crusades, and the belief is that they brought them back. Now, history says that they were burnt at the stake for being Satanists and that they worship this character, the Baphomet, right? Now, what if you notice here, the Baphomet has the caduceus, which is the twin serpents, which is the symbol of the medical.
Wait, that looks familiar.
Yeah. That's what doctors use. Now, that is the staff of Hermes.
I see that on ambulances. I see that on NHS hospitals. I see that on doctors' badges.
Now, what it actually represents is the symbol for the medical industry, because what that represents is all the intertwined DNA and what mysticism and Eastern mysticism particularly describes as the Kundalini, the entwined serpents, which is the yogic energy which is stored up in our ethereal bodies, if I understand it, yeah? So this Baphomet character, the horned goat god with wings like an angel, you notice he has breasts, so he's actually androgynous hermaphrodite. One arm goes up and one arm goes below. There's an upper moon and a lower moon.
So I'll just interject there quickly. Remember back in our Pizzagate episode when we broke down the Comet Ping Pong, when if you look at their sign on the Comet Ping Pong, it's got the moons here.
It wasn't that the stance that fucking John Podesta was making?
Yeah, John and Dr. Fauci. Our man Dr. Fauci has been making this with the two fingers raised up as well.
So I would say, in my opinion, that our westernised idea of the big red guy with horns in hell actually comes from this depiction of Baphomet. Now, if you study like esotericism, the Bible, mysticism, you'll be familiar with the term "as above, so below."
That's it.
Now, this is what this represents.
As above,
so below. So the Baphomet is a man and a woman. It's a human and a beast. It has also it's also an angel as well. You'll notice it has the six-pointed star. Sorry, the pentagram, the five-pointed star. Okay.
Directly on the third eye.
Directly on the third eye. It has the caduceus, or the staff of Hermes, the two intertwined snakes. Now, obviously, in this episode, right, we're going to be going out there a little bit. I'm going to say now that the reason that you see that caduceus on all of the medical industry, which I believe is run by these dark occultists, it's their way of saying we hold DNA.
Yeah,
that's what it symbolises. It's the staff of Hermes, the messenger of the gods. So this is all old religion stuff.
If you notice here as well, you've got the two moons. You've got one light moon and one dark moon here. You see that? So
just like you have the light sun and the black sun, which we'll come on to very soon.
This is all symbology, which we'll get into maybe in future episodes.
Right, now up next, the other symbol of worshipping the darker side, or what Christians call the devil, is Baal, yeah? Now Baal is the Canaanite god in 1500 BC, something like that. This is the guy that they were throwing babies into the fire. It's the Canaanite and the Phoenician god of human sacrifice, yeah? Now Baal is the bull.
So here he's got his hands out, ready to receive.
Yeah. And they were throwing babies into the fire. You know, if you believe what the Bible says, these are the guys in Babylon and Canaan that were doing this. That Jesus basically came down to spread his message, to sort out, to stop these money magicians and black sex magicians throwing babies into the fire and bumming everyone into oblivion. Yeah. So this is also clearly where our symbol from the devil comes from, and it is said that there are sects still of the big cult that worship Baal directly.
And this is what they're still doing, is the child sacrifice, and this intertwines them with, you know, the whole thing about the Pizzagate and the baby farms and stuff like that.
But what is Baal? Yeah, what is Baal? This is important. Baal might look like our idea of the devil, but the reason that Baal is a bull is because he was the god in the astrological age of Taurus, yeah? And what we're going to be talking about today, as we talk about this dark occult Satanism, is we're actually going to be talking about astrology. We're going to be talking about geometry. I made a list here. Symbolism, duality, and individuality. And this sort of links in with Freemasonic teachings as well, yeah? Because what we're sort of going to be getting towards, I guess, Andy, in this presentation, is that Satanism or Satanism is basically just the dark side of the occult.
That's it. So from my understanding, from studying Mark Passio's work, so he basically breaks it down. So the word Satan is derived from the Hebrew word Satan, which means to oppose.
To oppose.
To oppose, yeah, the opposer, the opposite.
I think we've got something.
To oppose. So he says it's not, it's not some dude, doing a ritual in a robe with a mask on, sacrificing a child. That is aspects of it, but it's basically to oppose what we understand as natural law. So we're going to briefly touch natural law. That's basically, good over bad. We all know what's morally right.
No, natural law, right? We are not going to do it justice by talking about it today.
No.
Mark Passio's Introduction to Natural Law is a 3-part seminar that's over the small one is 6 hours, the medium one's 9 hours, the full course is 7 weeks. So in a nutshell, natural law is the immutable, unalienable law written into reality, written into the universe. It's not written by man. It's not common law. It's not common law. It's a natural.
Not the law of man.
No, it's not the law of man. It's God's law. It's karmic law, universal law, natural law.
We'll do an example. So, an example of natural law will be gravity. Okay, you don't have to believe in gravity, right? It's in effect. If you walk off a cliff, okay, you're going to experience gravity in a very negative way. Doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, it's going to happen, right? So that's just an example. So natural law is in effect, whether you believe in it or not, whether you study or not, it doesn't matter. These occultists, So just quickly on that word, occult, Lance. When I say to you occult, what do you think?
Well, the first thing the connotations it would have for me is like black magic. Evil. Yeah.
So again, that is just a media stereotype which has been, falsely drilled into the population over time. So it actually means, it derives from the Latin word occultare. Okay, occultare, which means to hide. You can look this up in any Latin dictionary. It means to hide or hidden.
And etymologically, the study of words. I've had problems with that word, which is quite ironic. The study of words and the way they sound and what they actually mean is incredibly important. The The etymological meaning of words is extremely important to people that understand natural law and the occult, because at a base level, it's basically like sorcery.
Yeah, so these people, whether you believe in it or not, occult just means to hide, means, hidden from sight. So it doesn't mean anything inherently evil. So basically, an occultist is somebody who studies hidden knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
it's right. Knowledge which has been hidden from the general public. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just hidden knowledge. And I'm talking ancient, sacred knowledge.
And what Mark Passio basically argues is this hidden knowledge in its purest form is essentially natural law. And once you understand natural law,
you'll be free.
However, if you understand natural law and you are malevolent, you can use it to manipulate people that don't understand it.
Occult knowledge can be used for good and as well as evil, but primarily it's being used on this planet as we're seeing it as evil.
The analogy that Mark Passio used is amazing, right? Imagine you've got a 50-year-old, top of his game psychologist, world-class psychologist, who has a 25-year-old trophy wife, Now imagine the trophy wife cheats on the psychologist with the 18-year-old star of the football team. Now, if the psychologist finds out about that, he understands totally how the human mind works. He understands how you can break down someone's defences, you can install doubt. He knows how to basically totally
manipulate
anyone. Do you think that psychologist would be able to do a number on the football star that fucks his wife?
100%. Easily.
You could basically you could put the guy in an asylum. Well, basically that's what has been done to the human race. That's why society. This is the argument that we're putting forward. Is that's why society is so dysfunctional.
It's not an argument.
It's not an argument. It's an observation. It's an observation. Yeah. Okay. So that's the meaning of the word occult. And as I demonstrated, the meaning of words is important, even though I can't say the words that is the meaning of the word. Right, now we get onto the subject of Saturn, right? I think it's time to go there, isn't it?
Yeah, we can go there. Let's go.
Okay, so we talked about the connotations of a Satanist and how they're basically wrong. We'll come back to the pentagram in a minute because that's more to do with geometry.
And symbolism.
Right?
All of this is all intertwined. It's all intertwined knowledge. We're just trying to basically summarise a little bit of what we've learned and what our understanding of what Satanism is.
Yeah.
Just so we can sort of get the general, people watching these videos. If you don't already know, it's not just some dude prancing around doing a ritual with a little pitchfork. It's not. It's really, that's just a biblical interpretation.
Yeah, it's about understanding the language of the universe, which basically comprises of frequency, vibration, and under those two banners, you have everything from colours to sounds to light to language. That's all frequency and vibration, and how we are so susceptible to that. So anyway, now we're going to get onto the astrology side, and basically how Satan is actually Saturn. Right? The planet Saturn, right? So I'm going to start, because when a lot of these mystery religions were sort of rewritten in the West, they were taken from the East and written in the West in the start of the first millennia. Saturn was the furthest planet which they could observe with the telescopes they had. So Saturn was the furthest from the sun being the light bringer, the god, and the Saturn basically being the furthest. Now, who knew that in the North Pole of Saturn, let's play this. And my sound card's going to do that really shit thing again. Here we go.
Perfect six-sided hurricane, 60 miles deep. It could swallow 4 Earths. It's ringed by winds of ammonia and hydrogen blowing 220 miles an hour.
That could swallow Earths.
The storm was seen by the twin Voyager spacecraft when they passed by in the early 80s. That was the last time until recently that sunlight graced the North Pole of Saturn, which takes 30 of our years to make one circuit of the sun.
Okay, so I'll stop that there. So who would have known that in the North Pole of Saturn
there was a hexagon?
1, 2, 3, yeah, a hexagon, which of course is the inner.
Auntie Kovia, I need to address that. This is pre-God Vag. We are literally watching NASA CGI here. This is definitely pre-God Vag.
Shape
of a pentagram.
Yeah. Now this is where it starts to get really interesting. We start to get into geometry, yeah. So, Saturn worship, the black cube. Now I'm going to read some bits out of this. This is actually a very good blog. Let's put it together. You might not know it, but the entire world has been worshipping Saturn for thousands of years. The cult has never stopped, and its rites are still present to this day. Saturn, dubbed the Lord of the Rings, interesting, is the reason why we exchange rings at weddings. We put halos on the heads of godly characters, godly people, and the article exposes the attributes of the god Saturn and the perpetuation of his cult through in pop culture. So basically, whenever you see something that's a black cube, that is a representation of Saturn. So remember that. The black cube,
or something with a ring around it.
Or something with a ring around it, that represents Saturn, yeah? Okay, so let's go down, and I'll try not to skip forward. Okay, so here is the sort of theistic history of it. Kronos, or Saturn, Dionysus, Hyperion, Atlas, Hercules were all connected with the great Saturnian continent. They were kings that ruled over countries in the western shores of the Mediterranean, Africa and Spain. That comes from Baldwin Prehistoric. I am Isis, queen of the country. I was instructed by Mercury. So you can see here that all of these ancient gods from these old religions are not just loosely based on planets, they are the planets as well.
They are them.
They are literally the planets, whether they believe they were also actual physical deities or not, they literally are the planets. Okay, so this, I don't know what this symbol is called, but I keep seeing it, right? Resurrected Roman Empire, 9/11 built with the cube of Saturn worship. So these are symbols of Saturn worship, and this, this is representation of the cube.
So
right?
if you take the middle out of it, you've got the hexagon. Okay,
Yeah.
so then if you draw the lines and make it a 3D, it's a 3D
So this is
cube.
where astrology and geometry cross over, right? So this is why it's Saturn. Saturn has this hexagram in its north pole. This hexagram represents also three-dimensional hypercube.
That's it.
Yeah,
Which we're going to talk about. We're going to get into the hypercube in a bit.
So here we go down, and there's a picture of the United Nations headquarters.
I'm just going to pause it there for a sec because We literally like I was gonna say,
Mate, this is really good.
Yeah, it is good.
This is
but,
really good.
But we're proper machine gunning the information. There's like loads of it flying everywhere. I just need to address one of the comments. The background music. Believe it or not, when we used to make videos, we always used to put background music in. I can't turn it off, unfortunately. So I'm really sorry if anybody doesn't like the background music. People either used to love it or hate it.
Yeah.
It was one of those things.
It is what it is, guys.
We eventually got rid of it, and now obviously we have the live show with music in. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't turn that off. But yeah, I think this is a really good introduction to this stuff if people didn't know about it, because we're covering all the different angles. I mean, I might have worded some of the things I've said there differently now. But yeah, so far so good, I think. So far so good.
This is in the meditation and prayer room. So in their multi-faith meditation and prayer room, you've got to cater for everyone, yeah? You've got to cater for everyone. So we'll just have a black cube. That's actually not a cube, it's more of an oblate oblong.
Like a PlayStation, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
or an iPad.
So, here we have an iPad, yeah, or a GameCube. So here we have the Star of David, allegedly a symbol that represents Judaism. I would argue it doesn't actually represent that. This is the most ancient magical symbol.
Or what does Judaism represent?
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, careful.
I would say that's not the symbol of Judaism, that's a hijacked symbol.
Yeah,
but this symbol, right? This symbol is an upside and a downside triangle.
Two triangles.
The triangle is the most magical symbol in the universe. That's an up triangle and a down triangle, as above, so below. You see the themes, yeah? And the centre of it is
a hexagon.
Which also represents a three-dimensional hypercube.
Because all you have to do is put in 3 lines and it turns it into a 3-dimensional cube from a hexagon.
Modern Judaism, which some people would argue has been hijacked, their holy day is Saturday, yeah? Saturn day.
It's all in
Christians' holy day is Sunday, the sun, okay? The sun, Saturn day, Sunday. Okay, so this is all these words, the symbology, the astrology is important. Now we scroll down, and this is going to show some representations of this black cube or the hypercube in pop culture. Remember Hellraiser?
From the 90s.
From the 90s. Clive Barker presents Hellraiser, Hell on Earth. And
he's got the
all
cube.
about the cube.
Yeah,
the cube is like the centre of evil, yeah? This is...
Do you remember what Jacob of Ephraim was saying the other week about... Well, he was showing us the pictures of the black hypercubes coming out of the sun, apparently.
Yeah, Borg cubes.
Borg cubes. Which is basically what... Well, that's what the Tesseract is, isn't it? In Transformers, the Hellraiser cube.
A Will.i.am and Justin Bieber video with the cube in it. I'm not gonna. We watched it earlier. It's fucking shit. It's got the cube in it. Yeah. Cube worship in music videos. Okay, so that's some shots from the music video.
So they've got the cube here.
Yeah. These guys are all puppets. They don't know what they're doing. They're puppets of secret societies. They have no idea what all this symbology is about. The white and the black.
So basically, in the music video, Justin Bieber came out of this cube in a hologram, and he was sort of singing, what was he singing?
I'm alive.
Yeah, I'm alive.
Like he just come to life with the power of the dark.
From the power of the cube, which is dark energy, dark. That's what it is.
Okay, so it's all occult symbology. But we go down, and this is where it gets interesting. So, let me just preface. I believe that the 3 Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, have been hijacked by dark occultist Saturn worship for at least 500 years. Okay? Let me just preface by saying that. We can do a whole other episode explaining why I think that. Okay? So, in Mecca, we have a black cube. And what do the pilgrims do on their Hajj?
They circle around it. They ring around it.
Now, please don't think that I'm being Islamophobic or calling up Muslims, because like I just said, I believe that all 3 of those religions, Islam, Christianity, and especially Judaism, have been hijacked by Saturn worship.
Plus, we're simply stating facts.
This is the fact.
There's multiple pictures, of people. This is what they do on their pilgrimage. They go there and they ring around. They circle around this cube and they pray to it.
The rings around Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously
the Borg here.
The Borg in Star Wars, the Borg is
Star Trek.
Star Trek, sorry, yeah. How dare I cross trekkers with fucking Star Wars. Right, so around the world, in these Western centres of excellence, Santa Ana, don't know if that's Western, but we see this black cube, Denmark, Australia, Manhattan, Santa Ana.
All black cubes.
Black cubes.
Saturn is Saturn in Semitic civilizations. Okay, so here we go. We've already seen the black cube, the hexagram inside the Star of David, I would say the Star of Rothschild. Semitic civilizations referred to the god of Saturn as El. The supreme deity was represented by a black cube. We can find instances of the black cube across the world. Here's like a super Orthodox Jew with the black cube on his head. Okay. Many esoteric research affirm that the name Israel is the combination of the names of ancient pagan deities, Isis, Ra, and El. Israel. As a young pharaoh always calls them Israel. Right, okay.
You got the night tick there.
Yeah, the night tick which we see on the Toyota symbol. The Greeks and the Romans also worshipped Saturn as a cruel deity. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. The brief summary of the mythology of Saturn in the Western world. With the disposing of his father, Saturn became the ruler of the universe for untold ages, and he reigned with his sisters Ops, who also became his wife. Nice bit of incest there. It was prophesied that one day Saturn would lose power when one of his children would depose him. To prevent this from happening, each time Ops delivered a child to Saturn, he would immediately swallow it. So we get this theme of infanticide, which means killing of children, especially your own children.
And cannibalism.
Linked in with this Saturn worship, this Baal worship, which came from the ancient Canaanites and Phoenicians, which were known for human sacrifice, throwing babies into the fire. Okay, so we can see that this Saturn worship has never really stopped. It's just been occulted,
hidden.
Like
we discussed earlier, the word occult just means hidden from sight. That's all. So I'm just going to read on here.
Okay, so that's a
yeah, really hammering that one home there.
Okay, let's go down a little bit here. Saturn and Satan. Saturn has also been associated with Satan, and this for numerous reasons. First, many authors argue that the word Satan is derived from the word Saturn itself. Second, Saturn is associated with the colour black as well as Satan. Third, ancients considered Saturn to be the farthest planet from the sun, the latter being associated with the principle of good. Note that Pluto was never considered a planet. Saturn is consequentially the celestial body that is the less. It's the other. It's the minus rather than the plus.
And it's the less exposed to the the divine sun, the light from the sun. It was, as far as I understood, it was the furthest from the sun, the furthest from the light, it was the darkest.
My understanding of Freemasonry and its beliefs, it is basically astrology and sun worship. And the understanding that our
sun god.
Yeah, the sun god. Jesus is the sun god, the son of God. Okay, so the understanding is that the sun is actually what's called the logos, and then our planet is a sub-logos. And that logos is a word that Jordan Peterson uses a lot. It's a very interesting word. That's almost quite. It's sort of like an archetypal truth. It's basically it's very close to the word God. Okay, so. Saturn seems to be considered as the opposite of the sun.
Again, the opposer.
Oh, this is good, right? This is a quote from Manly P. Hall from The Secret Teaching of All Ages. He was a master 33rd degree Freemason, yeah? Okay?
Again, we'll stress, not all Freemasons are bad. Yeah, we like not all. Again, call this
the light and dark.
Yeah, this occult knowledge is just knowledge which has been occulted, hidden from.
Now you can see why people call us Freemasons.
Yeah.
We're always sticking up for them, aren't we, Andy PG?
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's true. Though it's not all Freemasons.
Yeah, it's like saying
it's not all the Whoish.
Yeah, it's not every policeman, is it? And I think we've always been quite consistent with that. And I know that Freemasons watch the show. They talk to me, and they will say, we just really looking into the sun, the moon, and the stars. A lot of the stuff you talk about on Rise Above is way over the head of most guys at the lodge.
Yeah,
they don't know anything about that kind of stuff.
Most Freemasons these days are there for business networking, really.
Yeah, of course. Do a little bit of charity work.
Yeah.
Make some connections.
That's what it is.
Learn a bit of occultism, maybe.
So, I mean, again, Freemasonry, the true teachings of Freemasonry have just been perverted over the years, and it's just another thing that's just gone down the fucking toilet. And then you just, you get people who are controlling at the higher levels and just want to keep the actual true Freemasonic teachings for the initiated only. Doesn't matter if you've got 33rd degrees above your head or not. You're not an initiate. You're not an initiate.
And I've got to be honest. As time has gone on in the greatest apocalypse ever, in the clan world and everything, I've started to sort of sympathise with those who have occulted the knowledge in previous times, because I've actually sort of realised what an absolute peasant most people are.
Yeah.
And they perhaps occulting the knowledge that you're actually a divine spirit and a co-creator, because that's quite powerful, and it's quite a lot of responsibility that comes with that when you understand it and you work with it and you realise what you're capable of. A lot of responsibility comes with that, and people maybe don't have the spiritual or metaphysical maturity to really deal with that. And now that I've come to that conclusion, it's okay, it's a bit of a black pill conclusion, oh no, sorry, but I can see why in the past the old Queef Masons might have seen it as doing the greater good, the great work, is
to
actually
hide the knowledge.
Hide the knowledge, to make sure that the peasants don't get hold of it. Look what they would do. They just, it would almost be irresponsible.
Either that, or they're literally creating the power divide because they've got this knowledge ultimately of self.
Well, of course, as soon as someone hides something really powerful and important, exactly the other type of people that you should be hiding it from, those who know what it is and will weaponize it, they are obviously going to infiltrate your secret society, which, according to my study and what Master Lee's told me, is essentially what happened. We've got a picture of Aleister Crowley on the front here, and I think it's quite interesting. We're having a little chat break here.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, Aleister Crowley, he, I'm not saying that he was all totally evil. At one point, he might have got into occult knowledge, because he wanted to do some good, and he lost his path along the way. And
well, I think Master Lee said, because Master
got into drugs, he was a drug addict and all sorts.
That's why he's so popular in the entertainment industry, because he sort of embodies sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I think he's a very misunderstood character, and I'm not sticking up for the guy. Master Lee said that the teacher of Master Lee's teacher studied with Aleister Crowley, or met him at some sort of lodge or secret society, and he said the instant impression was the guy's unclean.
Yeah,
it's not good. So we can actually say the teacher of our teacher met Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but I think I've studied Thelema, and basically what it says, do as thy wilt. It's essentially, it's just ultimate free will. You have free will, and that is your role as a sentient human being.
Your responsibility,
and you can do with it whatever you want. You can do literally anything you want to anyone, but
there's consequences.
There's consequences. Yeah. There's natural law. If you study the dark occult a lot, you might be able to take a little sidestep around natural law, but not forever.
And you won't be able, you'll still feel it's like the order followers. Who's actually more culpable for the karma? Is it the order giver or the order follower? Who's more culpable for the karma? It's the order follower, because they're the one that's actually taking the action physically in the world.
Well, if you
can suggest something to anyone.
It depends. It comes down to the level of cognitive ability, I guess, or like Master Lee says, quality of consciousness. If someone has a very low quality of consciousness and a low cognitive ability, and has literally no idea that they're wrapped up,
if they're a
in
Satanist
something,
and all they care about is money, as well.
Yeah, but what about someone that is truly hoodwinked and actually believes they're doing something good?
Yeah.
That could be a different story. But obviously there's spectrums to this. That of course, we could argue that the most common type of Satanist are people like your civil servants, your doctors, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, some NHS staff and health staff, not just the NHS, that have literally seen what has been going on and chosen to keep their mouth shut for money. And they might say, they could even make the excuse, well, if enough of us blew the whistle and this all came down, then the government came down, people would die, and it would bring everything. They could make all these excuses.
Doesn't matter. That's not the truth.
But that is the act of a Satanist.
Yeah.
I would say also another good example of a Satanist is someone that's seeing with their eyes their friends and family keeling over from coinciditis, maybe even younger people, and they're still saying, oh yeah, the kids need to get jabbed as well. It's to keep everyone healthy.
That's
It's for
full-
It's for the collective. It's for the great good of everyone. That's a good example of a working Satanist. And this is the little update I wanted to do. Because I think over the last 2 years, PG, we have obviously all collectively seen the act of the Satanist in the supermarket.
You think
in
the
the high
amount of
street.
shit we've seen since 2020, right? With all the
Since we
BLM,
recorded this, we worked out
Yeah.
this was recorded in July 2020.
it's just over 2 years.
Yeah.
So you think of all the shit that's been going on, right? All those BLM riots, all like the George Floyd thing, all the Trump.
I can't breathe.
Yeah,
I can't.
all the Trump.
And I think about that
uh,
in context of
election.
of the mask stuff that was coming afterwards.
Yeah.
I can't breathe. All the pre-programming, all the mockery.
Then we had things like the Travis Scott concert going on. That
Oh
was
my God.
the full most satanic thing I've ever seen. That was going on, some of the footage from that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
everything we've seen. Like, and what did we find out as well? There was shoes made with human blood in them. There were like
We've covered
there's
untold
these-
stuff.
There's these shoes with hoofs, or like cloven
Oh,
hoofs.
is that the gay rapper
Yeah.
that gets bummed by Satan in his
Like
music videos?
cloven hoof shoes. We've seen like look at all the fucking drag queens reading stories
Oh yeah,
to children and all of that. How satanic is the fucking world?
Yeah,
man?
the drag queen story time is now officially in the UK. I've seen all the videos
Yeah.
today of like the right wingers, the bigots outside there sticking up for kids, and showing pictures of the guy's Twitter where he's talking about orgies, and it's posted with kids' cartoon pictures. I was speaking to the missus about this the other day, and I was saying like, these people are openly posting about being at gay orgies, which is absolutely fine if you want to post about that, there's no problem. But when you are a drag queen and you do kids story time and you're putting kids cartoons pictures in your orgy posts,
it's a bit much.
Yeah, it is a bit much.
You want to go and book a table at Comet Ping Pong?
Big shout out to Magix,
Yeah.
Sam Carno, Snell, Eye for an Eye, Lee Redpath. Someone asked earlier on, is this live? Because we weren't looking at the comments. Yeah, it is live. It's always live on Black Market.
But it's not Rise Above. This isn't Rise Above.
No, this is not.
This is
not Rise Above Live. This is Black Market Cinema.
Different show.
So yeah, we are looking back today at this little chestnut here. This is the new thumbnail. I actually just need to say how much we've upped our thumbnail game. This is the original thumbnail for this show, which was Satanism and the Dark Occult. It was recorded and broadcast in July 2020. So yeah, I think we are exactly halfway through it at the moment. So there's about half an hour more. Okay. We've covered the symbology so far, the definition of what the word Satan actually means. I think we've covered that one too.
Yeah.
The black cube worship, which is linked with the geometry too. Okay, so
the hypercube we're going to get into next.
Yeah. So in the first half an hour, I think that was like a real sort of like rabbit assault course.
Crash course, man.
Yeah, crash course. Which is how we like it. All right, let's get back to it.
Site. I mean, it's not bad knowledge, it's how it's used. All the knowledge that is hidden is very powerful, right? And that's why sometimes the light occultists they hide it because it can be used in a negative way. But
when you study this stuff, you learn that through different times of history, what historians and researchers argue is that secret societies, some of them good, some of them bad, were hiding the knowledge for different reasons. Some of them were hiding it to stop the evil ones getting hold of it. Yeah. And once the evil ones get hold of it, they were hiding it. They were using it against everyone else as a weapon. Weaponized.
Which is what's happening now.
Yeah, which is what's happening now. All these things in our advertising, in TV, in social programming,
computer games.
All of this was learned in the 40s and 50s from people that studied it from the Nazis, and the Nazis learned it from ancient religions.
This is more ancient than the pyramids. This is more ancient than this goes all the way back. This is if you actually go far enough and research this will take you back. This is supposedly take you back to the dark wizards of Atlantis.
Yeah.
So this is about as ancient as it gets.
And let me just interject, right? Because some people that haven't really looked into this, when they hear about things like Atlantis, they sort of scoff like it's some crazy
Just a myth.
Yeah, and that's all well and good. You might say that on Wikipedia, but all of the ancient philosophers, Plato, etc., all of the greatest thinkers of history they all believed that all of everything comes from Atlantis.
And if you
time before the flood.
If you look at how Plato described Atlantis, what was it? It was a city with rings around it, rings of water around it. It was, depiction of Saturn.
And I've been doing a lot of research recently into the dark occult, and basically it seems that the people that are in charge of the world today, in their various different factions,
who think they're in charge. So we were just briefly talking about
cube
symbolism and Saturn. So this is
my editing has improved a great deal since then.
All the pilgrims bowing down, paying worship to Saturn, the big black cube,
and circling it with the rings.
And that's it. It's a great picture to depict what we're talking about there. We're just going another example quickly. Is down here. We've got the NSA, National Security Agency in the States. See the building in the background? Big black cube, It's it's for National Security Agency, gathers intelligence, gathers all data and all of that jazz. Then move down quickly. We've got a crop circle here. Lars, you've got a lot of info.
Yeah, so for us in the southwest, we don't realise that 95, 99% of the
southwest of the UK
crop circles are all in the southwest of the UK, around Hampshire, Somerset, and Wiltshire. And the reason for that, I believe, is the same reason that you find Stonehenge there, the most stone circles.
Ley lines.
The ley lines are the energy lines. Shit, going with this camera. The energy
always
lines
the ley lines,
around
guys.
the Earth. They were called the dragon lines by Eastern philosophers, and where they intersect is called a vortex. And they believe that is the most powerful points on the Earth, and there are more vortexes or vortices in the British Isles than in any other part of the world.
Energetical point on the planet.
Yeah.
So if we look at this crop circle here, look at that right in the centre there, Lots. What is that? It's the star. It's the Jew star.
The Jewish Star of David, which is the upside down, the Star of Rothschild, the most magical symbol, as above, so below. Surrounded by how many? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, that's an interesting number. 17 hyperdimensional cubes with a representation of the flower of life, with loads of pyramids in it. Again, that will be in the southwest of England by default. Those type of crop circles do not appear anywhere else on Earth.
If you look at it, it's on lines, on laid lines. Yeah, interesting. So we just go down a little bit more.
I would say those are actually farmers.
Yeah, of course, but again, they do representation.
You get representation. So black cube of Saturn, we've already covered that. Go down a little bit further. Look, click on this. The cross, the Christian cross. Who would have thought the Christian cross is actually
made up of cubes.
It's made up of cubes. When you outlay the cross like that, it is essentially a cube.
It's like a flat pack cube. A little cardboard box.
So even Christianity, which is, we still have the Sunday as the worship day, not the Saturday, there is still inadvertent Saturn worship in the form of the crucifix.
It's all hidden worship. Like in the lyrics of your recently released tune, Lars. Don't believe me.
Don't believe me.
Yeah.
Satanic whispers are hidden in the sounds of prayers.
That's it. Satanic whispers hidden in the sounds
of
prayers.
Like I said, I'm not saying that Christianity itself is Saturn worship, but what we're saying is these religions, these three Abrahamic religions, the monotheistic trio, which dominate the world for the last couple of thousand years.
They're using this symbolism.
Yeah. They've subverted it.
Yeah, it's been hijacked.
Okay, right. So let's move on.
So I'm going to talk now about the hypercube.
And let's go into geometry.
Okay, yeah. So this is the hypercube here. So I'm going to play this in a sec. So if you just look at this, in the centre you've got this small cube, and on the outside you've got this larger cube. And I'm just going to play this now. So this is real trippy. It's like real.
We don't need the music. Turn the music.
Yeah, it's just music off. This is a real trippy.
See, what I think this represents is the 3D cube. The cube inside is our 3D reality.
That's it.
And the external cube actually represents the fourth dimension.
This is basically once you get higher up these occult circles and organisations in this knowledge. Again, this isn't me saying this. This is Mark Passio. I'm just regurgitating his information. This is a really advanced symbol that's used, and you won't be initiated or indoctrinated into this until you get to quite high up. So this basically, what they use this symbolism as is we're in prison in this inner circle, this inner cube, sorry, we're in the prison. This inner cube is the prison, this is us. And the elite, if you want to call it, these globalists, these occultists with this knowledge, this is their outside cube. But they're still within a prison themselves, yeah? This is our prison.
So the gist of it is, by occulting this knowledge of natural law, of sacred geometry, of frequencies, of vibrations, they've created a prison inside the physical prison that they both live in themselves as well.
That's it. And basically what it's saying with this like infinite movement is, it doesn't matter, it's going to move and it's just going to continue on, doesn't matter. People are going to die, people are going to be born, it's just going to be the same thing over and over again.
I think the next tab, what is it? Is that right? Metatron, and this is where the sacred geometry interlaces with the Kabbalah. You can see that this symbol here is, this is actually Metatron's cube.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, you've got the cube at the top there. So like with the lines that are joined up, it's easy to see once you know what you're looking for.
So all of these different representations.
This again, look, this is all Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Taurus.
That's the Hypercube.
This is everything. You know, Sun right in the centre. This cube. This is all that sacred symbolism, geometry.
What we're talking about here is basically like the knowledge of like high-level Freemasonry. I'm not saying we understand it like
no, not at all.
Freemasons.
We're just passing this information.
You know, we are mere sort of meme farmers in this world of esoteric knowledge, like, because you know people can dedicate a whole lifetime just into learning what one of these symbols means.
Yeah, exactly. These, you know, you could be like for multiple lifetimes and not. This is so much knowledge, it's unbelievable. So if we just move on, like to.
No, I don't want to be loose, but let's talk about this right now. Not everyone knows that in 1666, or actually before that, there was a guy called
1666.
1666 is when it all kicked off. But there was a guy who studied the Kabbalah and the Zohar, another mystic Jewish book, which incorporates all of this knowledge that we're talking about, knowledge of the occult, knowledge of the Freemasons, and this guy basically proclaimed himself the Jewish Messiah. And at the height of his fame, he had 1 million followers. Now remember, in the 1600s, there weren't that many Jews in the world. Some people argue if there were even 6 million Jews around in the 1950s, that's an argument, yeah? But back then, 1 million Jews, 1 million people following is a lot. And Shabbatai Zevi, his basically...
I can see why it's got taken down.
His tenet was that redemption through sin. So everything that was would be considered a sin in Judaism or haram in Islam, basically everything that was to do with natural law, he inverted it.
Yeah, back in these days, we didn't really we hadn't had any issues with Al Gore yet. When this was recorded, we didn't really know about Al Gore and his constant predatory rhythm as he leans over your shoulder, listening to what you're saying all the time. You can tell we're just dropping J-bombs all over the place, really carelessly. Obviously, we're not talking about any medical stuff in this one, but yeah, it was no holds barred. This is why we had to learn the alphabet, or create the alphabet and then learn it to avoid Al Gore, because I mean, I don't know how long this one will get taken, will stay up for, because the whole reason we've made this channel is to protect the other two. We'll see.
And said, flipped it. So on the day where you fast, you have a feast. On the day when you abstain, you gorge. And basically, this is the tenets of what we would call Satanism.
They just, again, the opposite.
Yeah.
It just flipped around everything. So we see this again. We talked about this briefly in the Peatscape videos with the symbolism of the inverted cross. It's the Christian cross. They flip it around to invert it. Yeah. So what is good, they flip it. Is the Antichrist, the inverted crucifix.
A lot of people think that, and I personally believe that this is the guy. This is like the Jesus character for what is called the Khazarian Mafia, the basic manifestation nowadays is the Rothschild dynasty. And this guy, a guy followed him called Jacob Frank, who took it right up to the 1800s, and it was basically, redemption through sin. Commit the worst heinous acts you could possibly do to get yourself closer to God. That's it. Whoever their God was, some people would argue it's Saturn, the opposer. Yeah, so we're getting this theme is their deity. Okay, so to understand what these people believe, it's about understanding old religions, that are only practiced now in secret. Okay, so that was 1666.
So again, this knowledge, this is just knowledge. This dude in 1666, he's got this knowledge.
By the way, Jacob Frank, his follower, who said he was the reincarnation of this guy, he was around there when people like the Rothschild dynasty and Adam Weishaupt and Schiff, when they got together and actually formed the actual Bavarian Illuminati.
The original
1776.
The original bloodline.
Yeah. So, you know, they have this, this is money magic, it's sex magic, it's black magic.
All tied into one little neat, tidy organisation.
And it also is the start of Zionism as well. This is what, because real Jews, real people
Holy
who follow
shit.
Judaism do not believe that the Jews can go back to Israel until the Messiah's come.
That's it.
Now, the Messiah hasn't come in their belief, but these people that followed this guy, Shabbatai Zevi, the Messiah already came in 1666, and he said everything that's good, that's bad, so that we see this inversion, which is another theme in Satanism, Satanism,
whatever you want to call it.
So, right, another little pause there. Really dropping some bombs there, which we probably don't...
Ionism.
We are talking about Lionism. We don't really drop those careless bombs anymore because we want to stay on the air. But I think it's important to bring this up now because, like, what Zevi installed in his followers was this full-on inversion of sin through redemption, and I think it's very important to think about that when we look at what is going on and what the beliefs of the people who have the architects of what's going on. Why would they be doing something like this? And it makes a lot of sense with the kind of sort of satanic dark mockery we see in the media of you know, with the coincidias, you know, dying of joy, heart, you know, your socks, whatever, all those stupid stories. I believe that is pure. That's pure Zeviism.
You got these satanic masks everywhere and people covering their face up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's just one giant ritual.
One giant ritual.
A worldwide ritual.
Absolutely.
Opposer, yeah.
So again, this is in 1666. Then this occult knowledge has obviously been passed down and studied by.
Has anyone heard of Aleister Crowley? This guy was around. Let's go to his Wikipedia. Let's just before we get deep. What does Wikipedia say about Aleister Crowley? So born in 1875 and he died in 1947. An occultist, a ceremonial magician, a poet, a painter, a novelist, a mountaineer, and he founded the religion of Thelema.
So remember that he's described as an occultist. So all that means, again, we described occult means hidden knowledge. Yeah. So all he does is study hidden knowledge.
He was initiate of the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis. And if you remember in our Pizzagate episodes, where the headquarters of the OTO, it's like 3 or 4 blocks away or 20 minutes away from Comet Ping Pong. Yeah. Now, Aleister Crowley.
Well, that ties in nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's good to do. This is why I wanted to sort of do things roughly in chronological order when we do these black market reruns, because, you know, there's a reason we're going back to look at this. We want to see, first of all, how it's aged. Secondly, how we have progressed in our ability to explain
Plus,
this
it's
stuff.
good for the viewers. A lot of people haven't seen this.
Yeah, and of course, this stuff isn't available. I mean, it's on Odyssey, but no one goes on Odyssey. Some of it's not on Odyssey. A lot of it is. But yeah, I think going forward we might actually restream some of the original lives.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're quite long. I'll have to start it earlier. Start it at maybe 6 o'clock, and we'll have a break in the middle when Andy comes around and we have a chat or something like that. But yeah, I think that's the way to go. We'll carry on in this fashion, playing these. So we're roughly in July 2020 at this point when this is recorded, and it's probably quite important to keep that in mind.
Might have died in 1947, right? However, I would say, the way I would sort of coin what he is the Jesus character, the Messiah of the new form of Sabbatean Frankism.
Yeah, what is being practiced today.
When it's being practiced today, and when I say that being practiced today, I mean in the realms of the elite, as in Hollywood and the entertainment industry. I would say that he is the Messiah of this belief that is practiced in the entertainment industry. If you type in, right, see where it says Aleister Crowley, type in Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so believe it or not, the Beatles were referenced Aleister Crowley, whether they were followers of his teachings.
There we go.
Okay, so there's pictures of Aleister Crowley on a famous cover of the Beatles. Is that? It's not Yellow Submarine.
that's
what's
it.
that? Sergeant Pepper.
So
he's on there.
There he is. You can see him in the background there.
Is it Jim Morrison from The Doors that bought Aleister Crowley's mansion?
That's right.
So all through like the 50s, 60s and 70s, in heavy metal, in rock music and in popular music as well, he was sort of quite revered. And
there he is again. Look.
What was the name of his book?
Hiding. You see? Hidden. Occultist. He's hiding behind the tree. Hidden from sight. Okay?
Again, really hammer that in there.
Aleister Crowley, he described
The art of
himself as the
repetition,
great
Andy PG.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. He's
Mind control, yo.
He's the wickedest man alive. That's what he said. And this guy is the Messiah. This is these people, you know, Hollywood and some politicians and maybe some of the royal family potentially.
George Bush is allegedly the grandson of Aleister Crowley.
That allegedly, yeah.
According to Vinnie Paz and Jedi Mind Tricks. Yeah, this is really good. This is really good looking back at this because we were obviously rabbit holing this stuff hard, and it was kind of fresh in our minds at this point in time, I guess. You know, we'd heard about this stuff maybe years before, but we were really starting to put it together because for the first time, I guess, we were taking our research seriously. Yeah. Which is something you and me had never really done before.
Yeah, because I just used to do it like as a kind of hobby on the side, just to look into this stuff because it was cool.
Just sort of casually. I mean, I did it almost every day. I'm not going to lie, but I never wrote stuff down. I never saved any links. I never compiled any information.
Never made a YouTube channel or a fucking brand.
No, didn't make a lifestyle choice out of it.
Never put on a raw treat.
Yeah, speaking of raw treat, let's have a little advert break.
No, you won't catch me on a television. Screw the government and the nepotism, spewing out bullshit, but I'll never listen. Rise above, that's more my place. 9 PM we go live each Friday. Smooth and harder than granite. All my beats, Lance, Andy and Magics. Don't forget Master Lee, we go into subjects you can't believe. A conscious shock will be leaving you speechless. You'll be finding it hard to speak. We digest, manifest, through means we predict what happens next. Like the code in a tarot deck, I'm reveling the occult and the Baphomet. It's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall, it's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall. Opposing covert forces, you on the other hand only endorse it. Catch raw treat, only endorse it. You know where to come when draconian war hits. This ain't a scare tactic, I really wish that things were less drastic. If you abide by the mass formation psychosis, then you'll end up a captive, a slave to the system. So hand over your rights, then blame like a victim. The supply chain's now seized up, so they're promoting people that eat bugs. Go do the research rather than making decisions at a knee jerk. If we go along with the collective, this reality will have ended. It's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall, it's there for you to see. If you ain't got the eyes to see it, don't complain to me. Together we're united if we only choose to be. The writing's on the wall, so let them make their move on me. The writing's on the wall.
Just imagine North Korea in 20 years, when everybody has to wear a biometric bracelet which constantly monitors your blood pressure, your heart rate, your brain activity, 24 hours a day. You listen to a speech on the radio by the great leader, and they know what you actually feel. You can clap your hands and smile, but if you're angry, they know you'll be in the gulag tomorrow morning.
Welcome back.
It's Black Market Cinema with myself, Double LMC, and Andy PG from the
Word.
Rise Above team. Broadcasting on a Tuesday night. Big shout out to everyone at the Crown Inn in Bridport. So, if you've never watched Black Market before, on a Tuesday night once a month, we rerun some of our original early material. This is the third rerun so far. A lot of this material is not available on YouTube. Well, none of it's available on YouTube.
It's highly restricted.
It's highly restricted. It all got deleted.
This is all contraband material.
Yeah, and the only reason this channel has not been taken down is because we've got less than 1,000 subscribers. As soon as we get over 1,000, Al Gore will be all over this stuff, as he normally is. So yeah, we just played the Ra Treat advert there again. Remember, tickets are still available. Camping tickets and day tickets.
Big up Rise and Shine for the music there.
Yeah, riseabove.tv. Get your tickets there. So we're revisiting Satanism and the dark occult. We thought it was particularly pertinent, seeing as we are in the middle of the greatest
Speaking of
apocalypse ever.
Satanists, I just saw in the video there. Are they all Rise and Shine memes? Yeah, in that little
All
montage
Rise and
picture?
Shine.
There's one with because obviously we call we call Zuckerberg Sugar Mountain. There's one with a Mountain Dew bottle.
Terrorist
Mountain
spotted that.
Dew.
He goes like, "You're going to get taken down for that."
Yeah. I've only just twigged that one. Yeah, they're really good.
Because obviously, like, you know,
Sugar Mountain, Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
It's really good.
that's what Zuckerberg
Really good.
is. He's a Mountain Dew. That's what it means. So, just thought I'd give you another view of the studio there. We're chilling out all in red here tonight in the studio. Okay, so let's get back to the video. Satanism and the dark occult.
Yeah, that's another whole nother rabbit hole. If people want to jump down there. There's plenty of information about that.
So we've been talking about the history of the dark occult, Satanism, Satanism, black cube worship. What is another manifestation? The Nazis. The cult of the black sun.
So
the ancient religion is basically sun worship. Okay? Freemasonry is about astrology, and the highest form in astrology is the sun.
You see this? Their symbol, the black sun.
So the black sun is the opposite of the sun. It's the opposer.
Yeah.
It's the polar negative of the sun.
However,
no, I'm just going to stop it there because this has become really.
Do you want to talk about Ukraine?
I think we probably should because
Yeah.
this is really relevant because this symbol for many people was totally unknown until the whole thing kicked off with Ukraine, and obviously Azov Battalion are seen openly walking around with the black sun symbol. Their civilians wear it, their supporters, they have it on their military outfits, on patches. And yeah, this is the symbol that was taken on by the secret society behind the Nazis.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so here's some background on it.
but if you actually break down the symbol and you want to look at it, it's a black sun, but it's beaming out light at the same time, you see?
Yeah.
It's beaming out dark light and white light. This can be used as good or bad. All this knowledge, this occulted knowledge, is not dark or inherently evil, but is being used as such.
Mark Passio describes it as like a knife. A knife can be used to cook a beautiful meal to feed your family, or you can use it to massacre your neighbours.
Exactly.
Yeah,
good and bad, it's just how it's used. It's not inherently good or bad, it's just knowledge.
So the cult of the black sun, and let's type in the Nazis, because allegedly the Nazis worship the black sun, and their use of the swastika turned on 45 degrees.
And look at this, it looks like a sun.
Yeah.
You know, it's beaming out sun. This is the whole point of their little symbolism.
But how does that link in with current day? Right, so let's talk about what's an agency which has been pretty instrumental in what's going on at the moment, the World Health Organization.
Oh yeah, the Wuhan Health Organization.
The Wuhan Hoax Organization. Right, let's get up, I'm sure we have something on that. So let's look at the symbol for the World Health Organization. Was that not one of the tabs?
No.
Oh, that's
Let's
cool.
get that. Right.
Well, so all those people in those tabs there link in with the Wuhan Hoax Organization.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga. Let's just do her first.
Let's get Lady Gaga.
Right, so Lady Gaga is allegedly one of the high priestesses of the people that worship the black sun or Saturn in the entertainment industry. Madonna was her protege. Madonna's still about, but you know she's the new one. So here we have her inside the hyperdimensional 3D cube.
That's it. This is.
You'll notice there's always white and black. I don't know who that is.
Sorry, yeah, cancel that. There we go.
Okay, so that's Lady Gaga.
So we got a girl Beyonce here as well.
So we've got the Baphomet.
Yep. So you see this? That's what she's wearing, and it links up with the 5-pointed star pointing downwards, negative, down.
Yeah. So obviously, this Baphomet represents the 5-pointed star. Go back again so we see it, and we have to recognise that this represents Saturn as well. Yeah. So it's all. Wait a minute. Have I got that right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 4.
No, this is still the 5-pointed star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, so that's not the same.
No, this is an offcut of the pentagram, which is the democratic.
Let's go back to Aleister Crowley, because his thelemic symbol is his symbol for thelema.
Proper rabbit hole in here.
Yeah, mate. Live rabbits.
If you go Aleister Crowley thelema, so his symbol looks like a hybrid of the pentagram and the TH.
Thelema, sorry.
Yeah, thelema. Sorry, thelema. I go thelema. Wow.
That's it.
Okay, so yeah, images.
Let's whip this up here.
Whoa, look at that one. Look at that one there. Up. That.
Oh yeah. Here we go. So this
Getting
is
well excited, aren't we?
This has got all the symbols in one there. You've got pentagrams. This is the 8-pointed star here. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, the 7-pointed star.
Right. 5-pointed at the bottom.
Yeah, you've got the yin yang here, the dark and the light. You've got this is multiple. So you've got the eye here, like the eye of Horus.
All of these symbols and all of this stuff, it's about duality. This is the reason that the Freemasons always have the checkerboard floor, the white and the black. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does that represent?
That represents base consciousness.
Literally, die or live. You know, eat or starve.
That's
white or
it.
black.
The very base of what you need to do.
Consciousness of 3D reality. That's what that represents when you see that. Yeah. So
if you want to go say where do we see this? Who has this round their heads? If you look at a policeman in the UK, they have a band round their head of white and black checkers. Yeah. And then if you look at what is on their, the badge on their front, it's the star. It's a star, which is, if you break it to 6-sided star, it's 2 cubes, 2 squares put on top of each other. So again, this is another symbolism that the police have, this base consciousness around their head of the black and white, and then straight on the central, on the third eye, is placed the badge, the 6.
So this is what we're talking about. This represents the duality. So if you ever notice, sometimes I remember going into a church when I was young at school and seeing a room in the back of a church with the checkerboard floor and thinking it's really weird.
Yeah.
Now I know what it means.
So here you go. Look, you got the Freemasonry symbol on the black, and you've got the star on the white.
What do you care about?
Yes, the black is the good, and the white is the white is the good, and the black is the bad.
What difference does it make to you?
And then you've got all the little Freemasonry
moving the chess pieces in the great works.
Yeah.
Let's have another bit.
You've got the pillars there. What else do you see here, Lance?
Everybody chip.
So you've got these two here, the guards guarding the king or the queen here, and he's not. You see this? He's not on either side. He's on both sides, on black and white.
That's what swastika is.
That's exactly.
That's the cross in the middle.
Exactly. They are, and notice it's all cubes, it's all squares.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just symbolism in itself, that the Freemasonry, the people who are using the symbolism, they're on good and bad side. They know
the light and the dark. And remember, we're not like cussing anyone that's uncle is a Freemason.
No, not at all.
Because it's like saying they're a policeman. A policeman can be a bad policeman or a good policeman. The Freemasons just understand natural law and the things that we've been talking about.
Here we go. This is a great picture. There, you've got a black cube on top of the checkered floor, which is symbolising. And it's even got 3 pillars around it. You have a triangle around the cube. So that means the holy 3, the spirit, the mind, and the body. And then you've got base consciousness here on the floor. Then you've got the mind, the body, and spirit symbolising around it, and you've got dumped right in the centre on top of the base consciousness, the black cube, blocking. Yeah.
Just pause it a second. Sure.
Anytime.
Yeah, I just want to clarify what I mean by base consciousness there with a checkered board floor. Is what I'm talking about is people who aren't initiates, who are just bumbling through life. The 1 minute they have a little bit of knowledge, then they go into the dark. Next bit, and it's just like a progression of like they don't ever get off the checkerboard floor.
Normies.
Yeah, normies. Yeah. The profane.
The profane.
Yeah.
Peasants.
Peasantry. Yeah.
NPCs.
So that's what I mean by base consciousness. Like it's the black and the white just means like you're just bumbling along. The very baseline, the very base level.
Because that's the thing, right? Because obviously my detractors say that I'm an elitist and I call my fans peasants. When I call everyone
no, what did I say when I introduced you earlier? I was like,
we're all peasants in the eyes of these guys.
I was like, good evening, fellow peasants.
Yeah. That's the thing. Everyone's a peasant. You spend your whole life as a peasant until you realise what's going on. That's the first level of leaving peasantry, is empowering yourself with the knowledge of what's been done to us, who's doing it, why they're doing it, how they're doing it. And I guess that's why we made this episode, not just the whole show, but this episode particularly that we're reviewing tonight, was because we wanted to give the theological and the thematic background to why this is all going on, and what is the belief system of the people doing it. Well, that was at least our aim, I think.
Mate, I think we've done very well.
Yeah, I think we did all right. Oh shit! Oh bollocks! I just put it back to the start. Let me just get back to exactly the same bit. Where do we get to? I pressed the wrong thing. So we got just past there. Got just to here. Got to the
this is another symbolism that the police have. This base consciousness around the head of the black and white, and then straight on the central. The trouble is, no one teaches you this sort of stuff in school. Let's have a look at this. So you've got like the altar here, the black cube, the pathway, the base consciousness, the pathway leading up to the altar, the elevated altar.
Click on this one. That's like the ultimate Freemasonic checkerboard.
Look at all this.
So the two pillars called Joachim and Boris.
Yeah.
And passing through the pillars is like symbolic of lifting the veil.
That's it. Yeah.
And obviously they have the cross compasses to represent the sacred geometry, which governs everything.
Yeah.
Which means everything.
Natural law.
Natural law.
This is natural law.
And above you have the eye.
Enlightenment.
And enlightenment. To the left you have the sun, and to the right the moon.
That's exactly right. And down here you've got a coffin with a cross and a skull. Yes, skull and bones.
So that's like skull and bones. So that's why the dark lodge of the Freemasons, the skull and bones, the 322.
Basically George Bush. All the.
So in Freemasonry there are different orders and different sects, and the dark lodge is the worst one in the world. Is arguably the skull and bones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
322.
And this as well. This tells me, if I look at this quickly.
Look how many terrorist attacks have got 322 in the date, 22nd of March. There's lots.
Skull and bones representation 322.
Right, so let's say something. Let's bring this up to date. All of this understanding of natural law, of the frequencies, of numerology, of the power of symbols, this is completely 100% mastered and understood by the global satanic, dark occult world leaders and the people that are executing what's going on right now. Everything I've been talking about in COVID 1984, I will say right now, is being executed by people that have this belief system. Dark occult psychologists that have known exactly how our human brain works, thousands and thousands of years, and every way to manipulate us. And the latest iteration that we've seen of it since the 50s is like the subliminal messages and adverts, the NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, MK Ultra. You've heard. Me and Andy need to do a whole episode on MK Ultra, trauma-based mind control, where you bring people.
Yes, Andy PG, look at that awful wooden chair.
I sat in that wooden chair for fucking hours, man.
That's when a show was minimum 6 hours. Yeah. Minimum. That was a starting point. If it's anything less than 6 hours, we have to make excuses.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were 8 hours long, and you'd be sat on that chair. And it was always a joke. When are you going to get Andy PG a new chair? Before we had any of the new studios, it seems so weird, doesn't it?
We did it, and I got my new chair.
Did it? We even got a spare chair.
Yeah, for guests.
Yeah, guest chair. Yeah.
Well, it's Manic's chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big up Manic.
Big up Manic. Yeah, we've always got a seat for Manic. We'll be able to catch him at Raw Treat the whole weekend as well. Let's carry on.
Different types of mind
with
control.
traumatic experiences. This is all understood by this group of people. Yeah, 322, the Skull and Bones.
That's the Skull and Bones
That's
symbol.
George Bush.
That's everyone. That's everyone.
Yeah.
So if you look at George, any of the presidents have come out.
I'd say that's one
Yeah,
thing.
Clinton.
We're definitely not as sure now. But like, back then when we said things, we were well sure, weren't we?
Yeah.
Now we're
more
like,
skeptical, more cautious.
Well, we talk more like Master Lee says. It's more like ideas over dogma. To say like this is this and that is that. Now the more you know, the more arrogant that seems.
Yeah.
So it's that old thing. The more you know, the more you learn about various different topics, and being a polymath and trying to learn different things
means you don't know.
It means you actually realise that you don't know at all. And I think that's part of the journey which we're probably all going on, especially all the Rise Above family that are on this journey with us when we're going through these topics. Watching what's going on, paying really close attention, and getting down to the nitty gritty of what's under the rabbit's fingernails and stuff like that. It's a journey of discovery, and what the ultimate discovery is, you don't know. That's the ultimate discovery at the end of the day.
It's clearly Skull and
Yeah,
Bones.
they're all Skull and Bones. All the presidents, Obama, they're all Skull and Bones. So getting back to this, I just noticed, so if you look at this, you've got the Skull and Bones here, the coffin, which means dead, that's death, yeah? Then you've got, death moving up to base consciousness. Then you're elevating yourself past the symbols here, the stars. Yeah, you're gaining knowledge.
The steps. How many steps are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the 6-pointed star. 6 steps moving up to the Freemasonic symbol.
Yeah.
And subsequently, all of these symbols, I don't recognise some of these symbols. I mean, that's a fucking UFO.
Wait, no, there are 13 steps there. If you count the white and the black.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
1,
but
2,
anyway,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 steps, and the
So the 13.
Yeah,
13 bloodlines.
Yeah, so exactly the same as on the symbol for the US dollar.
Okay,
It's always about 12
We're such rookies
and
back
13,
then.
but you
Just
also
counting at
see
12 and
that with
13.
7 and 8.
Hadn't even got to 33
It's
yet.
believed in a lot of these esoteric teachings that there are 7 levels of
Consciousness.
seven levels of consciousness. 8, the unity of 8 is the infinity. That's the God consciousness. That's what a lot of these esoteric teachings believe. But Masons seem to follow the 12 and 13 rule.
So this is actually being played out. This picture here has actually been
We'll get that
similar.
bigger.
Look, they've got the.
Come on, Jamie.
They've got the. Let's see.
No, we've been pulled into. This is blueberry muesli recipe. Can we get the World Health Organization symbol up?
Absolutely.
Because we've been talking about this understanding of these numbers and frequencies and stuff like that. Now to sort of try to even attempt to explain how this manifests itself in modern day events. Okay.
World Health Organization.
The World Health Organization.
Let's break this symbol down. So at the start of the video, you talked, Lance, about the snake and the.
It's interesting.
And the
That
star.
only has that's not actually the caduceus.
No,
That only has one snake.
But it's a representation of it, so singular. But still, that's the central.
Now you've got. Is this called the twin laurels? These two.
That's right. That's right. Or an alley-oop. Is that right?
I'm not
Similar
sure.
to an alley-oop. No. Anyway, what I was going to say, this central staff here with the snake wrapped around it, and you've got the rings around it.
Some would say, some flat Earth people would say that's the flat Earth map as well, which is quite interesting. But it's actually a top-down. It's a top-down view with the North Pole in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wonder if
Which coincidentally is the flat Earth map. Not that I'm a flat earther. Not that I'm a flat earther, but I find that interesting.
not a flat earther.
I'm definitely not a flat earther, but I find it interesting. We've definitely been told some lies about where we live,
So
that's for
pre-vag,
sure.
aren't we?
100%, but there's
Like you could literally tell, like
Yeah, there's no craterism.
We're ready to say this ain't a ball, but like we're not flat earthers, but we just
Something ain't right.
We were waiting for the vag to come into our lives and plonk itself on the table, get the vag out. But yeah, I think this is what I love about black markets, because it's like even in 2 years. Yeah, a lot's happened, and I think I'd like to say I think we've come on a long way. As good as this is, we've definitely come on a long way.
Definitely lies about where.
So, okay, so is there anything else we need to fucking say? Because we've really talked
we've
about
broken
all
down
the
a lot now.
aspects of it.
I think what we're going to talk about next in the next video.
It's clearly going to be a part 2 to this.
In the part 2, I think we should break down. We should go a bit more into natural law, and break down a bit more. Go into more.
Yeah, so let's wrap it up. Okay, so what we've done today, me and Andy, we've skimmed over the top a lot of different things, but we've given you an introduction to what is occult knowledge. Now, if you want to know about it in depth, we have to recommend you go to Mark Passio. Type Mark Passio into YouTube to see some of his lectures.
Go to his website.
Go to website whatonearthishappening.com. It's got all of his lectures, his podcasts.
He's got so much content on there.
Yeah, let's just have a look through it.
He's got videos in there, natural law. He explains the natural law of attraction and how to apply it to your life. This isn't some self-help seminar or anything like that. This is an ex-Satanist. This guy's been in these organisations and he's come out of them and he's trying to help people wake up to the methods and the way they are manipulating the general population with light mass mind control through media and the movies, through Hollywood, through computer games, through everything we see in our day-to-day basis.
And it's such a huge subject, we can't really do it justice.
He's got
the cult of ultimate evil.
This is a great video.
There's a fantastic one called Demystifying the Occult and Satanism.
Yeah, that's
and that's
right.
sort of
That's what three-part video.
This one here,
Yeah.
part 2, Satanism in the dark occult. A lot of what we talked about today, we have been paraphrasing what Mark Passio says in this very lecture here. So I fully recommend. It's almost 3 hours long, but please listen to it. This is a guy who was a priest in the Church of Satan. He joined Satanism for personal reasons. He was into sort of thrash metal and stuff like that. And when he realised that it went much higher into the upper echelons of the world and actually had a plan for global enslavement, which we're seeing being rolled out right now before our eyes.
With the COVID-19.
COVID-19 84 is the rollout of a global system of enslavement through technology, through
what are these nutters
whatever
saying?
the platform is going to be, whether it's a digital tattoo, whether it's an immunity passport, whether it's a Chinese facial recognition credit system. The people that are rolling it out believe in this stuff. They worship the black sun or Saturn. We could do I'll tell you what, next episode I think we should link it in with eugenics, Bill Gates, the World Health Organization.
Because it's all linked.
It's all linked.
The links are unbelievable. It's all there, and it's all the information is there to
OTO and other societies like that. You can find links only one generation back of people like Bill Gates, people involved, Fauci's, people that are involved in the World Health Organization. One generation back, they're involved in eugenics, which is steeped in
all sorts of nasty shit.
The real society coming from the Nazis.
Yeah.
It's black sun worship, occultism, linked in with science,
links
into
down
eugenics.
to Operation Paperclip.
Yeah. So that's it. Next episode we're going to do is going to be that.
Yeah, we'll go.
The Nazis
we'll go into that.
and their actual practical application of the worship of the black sun, using science, using vaccines, using MK Ultra mind control, and how it actually manifests in what we're seeing right now before our very eyes. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Big up Andy. Rise Above is an ongoing project. We've got so much more
There's
content.
loads of content we're going to get through.
It's just time and it's just effort, but thank you. If you appreciate this, subscribe to the video, like it, share it on Facebook, tell your mates about it. This is the new channel. I need all the subscribers I can get. People, Rise Above.
Don't forget, check out Mark Passio's work. Go to his website, whatonearthishappening.com. Check out his podcasts. There's loads of content on there. It's great. All the conspiracy theorists are going to love it. All the people that aren't conspiracy theorists are going to love it. It just talks about everything that is going on in the world right now.
Learn about the knowledge of the people that are trying to take over our lives and control us. Yeah.
Rise above, guys.
Rise above. See you guys next time. Subscribe to the channel.
Ask questions that are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with a Wahhabi thesis? Pedo priest praying to Jesus, a rabbi circumcising a penis.
Well, there you go.
There you go, indeed. Well, pleasantly surprised, I think.
We never did that second episode.
No, lucky we didn't. Say that.
Yeah.
We probably got fucking.
We didn't need
arrested.
to. All we had to
No,
do
we
was
didn't
live
need
through
to.
clown world.
We just let everyone see it for themselves. It's quite interesting how we said we're going to make an episode where you're going to see this playing, how the practical real world applications of people that believe in this when they use it with Nazi doctrines and the things that the Nazis practiced in the original concentration camps and stuff like that. Instead of making it, we just, here you go, just watch the world, see what you think.
Yeah, read the paper, watch the news.
Yeah, just put on the BBC. Okay, so yeah, big shout out to Boom Shanker Lady, Rachel McCaskill, Eye for an Eye, Bath North East.
There's a very nice comment Sam Carno's just put up.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
About us, yeah. Cheers, mate.
I'll say it again, bravo lads, amount of time and efforts that the lads have put in over the last few years. Behind every man is a good woman, big up the Empress. Thank you very much.
And Andy PG's partner. I'm a Lone Ranger, mate. I have no partner, yeah.
You heard that first, ladies.
See you at Rotary.
See you at Rotary. Oh dear. Okay, so what's going on with Rise Above then? So this Friday we're taking a break because we need one. Because we spend a lot of time doing this, and we've got to spend some time on ourselves every now and then. Next week we will be back on Friday. There's only a couple of weeks till Rotary now. I've got a feeling I'm going to be doing some more broadcasts on this channel in the weekdays going up to Rotary. Maybe not with Andy. I'm just going to run things because it's going to be a good chance to advertise Rotary as well, and let you guys have the live chat so you can chat to each other in the run up to the event over on this channel. So there'll be long streams. I'll start restreaming the original streams, the original Rise Above live shows, I think. And if you want to stop by, because you're going to be popping in more to discuss what's going on and have meetings with me. So I think every time I come in the studio in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start putting on more black market. They might not even be announced. So guys, you've got to keep your eye on this channel, because like I say, it's going to be a great catch up for everyone.
Yeah, man, sure. Yeah, it's literally Rotary's going to creep up on us before we know it.
So today, it's the 9th today. I think it's. Wait a minute.
Is it a month today?
No, let me just count. I've got a feeling
it's not 33 days.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's going to be 33 days.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. No, it's exactly 31 days.
Right. Yeah, month today.
Yeah. Damn. I thought 33 days was in a couple of days'
That would have
time.
been good.
I was going to do a big post about 33 days to Rotary. I've missed that opportunity. Magix, you missed that one. So big shout out to Snell. Everyone needs to get on the Telegram. Rise Above Official on the Telegram, because that's where the Rotary hype is going on. I know we don't normally do these promotions on Black Market Cinema, but it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, guys. I've gone fuzzy on the camera again. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up. Because we've had an excellent episode, a good look back at Satanism and the Dark Occult.
Yeah.
The next time we broadcast is not going to be in a month. It's going to be in the next week or two on Black Market Channel, and we're going to start restreaming the original Rise Above live episodes. So it's going to be a great chance, like I said,
from the first channel.
From the first channel that got deleted. So I'm talking about like episode. I don't know if I've got episode 1. We might have episode 2. I've got 1 or 2 are missing, but I've got some old corkers which they'll probably get us strikes. I know it. Anyway, guys, I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. Andy PG, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure here in the studio.
And big shout out to everyone at the Crown Inn in Bridport. Rise Above.
Rise Above.